Welcome back to the Rooted Lifestyle Podcast. We are your hosts, Cameron and Justus Woods.
Welcome back, everyone, to another episode.
Another episode. We've been on a grind.
We have been on a grind.
I am so proud of us,
we
honestly.
are back to being consistent.
We are. Well, we hope.
We hope. This may drop off after this. So.
No. But we really have had so much fun with you guys just these past few weeks, getting to update you guys on life and like being active on Instagram, YouTube, Spotify for podcasters, whatever.
Yep, all the things.
So yes, thank you guys so much for listening and keeping up to date with us. So, what?
What are we talking about? Also,
okay.
Side note.
That was crazy.
What?
The way your mind just went so ADHD. Okay,
I lifted my hand. I was like, also, side note.
What's the side note?
Because of this hand. For those of you, and I'm going to scoot up a little bit. You can see that I have a tattoo here. For those of you who aren't watching
what are you about
on
to
YouTube.
Say? Show them again. Give them a really good view of that.
This one is Colossians 3:23.
Uh-huh.
And I want to get another one.
Really?
And I want to get another one. I want a tattoo. I'm thinking maybe a thigh tattoo, but I don't know. I'm starting to catch the bug a little bit again. The more I've seen, like, I've for those of you who don't know, I've started being more consistent on Instagram
Go
and
follow
TikTok
him.
and stuff.
Is it Justus Woods?
Justus Woods __.
Justus Woods __.
And I've seen these guys with tattoos, and I'm like, that looks so cool.
You look cool, babe.
But I need to look cooler. So I might get a full leg sleeve tattoo, and I will get an arm sleeve tattoo.
My mom's going to listen to this and text me immediately.
Tattoo.
Okay.
I'm kidding. But I do want another tattoo, so if you have any ideas for tattoos, drop them in the comments.
This is not at all what the podcast episode
Maybe if we
get
a million views on this podcast
no.
episode, I will get a tattoo.
No.
A million? You wouldn't do that for a million views?
You get another tattoo for 1 million views?
Yeah, I'd do it right now.
Okay, you have to get my face on your thigh.
Okay, I will. If we get a million views on here, I will get your face tattooed on my thigh.
Let's go.
So 1 million views. So it's up to the people. Anyway.
Okay, wow.
Sorry, that was such a sidetrack, but we're not talking about tattoos today. We are talking about kind of tattoos, because that's a part of it. What are we talking about?
We're talking about how to build our dream bodies.
And my dream body involves tattoos.
Oh my God.
Go ahead.
That was a really sneaky way to put that in there, honestly.
Thank you.
But yeah, as you guys know, if you've listened to us for a while, we talk a lot about nutrition, even though we're not health coaches. We talk a lot about fitness goals, even though, well, I am a fitness coach.
You are.
I am a certified personal trainer.
I'm the poser.
But you know so much. You've done so much research and all this stuff. So we just want to share the love of the game and what we've learned along the way, what's worked for us, what hasn't worked for us. And we wanted to talk about right now, currently, how we are building our dream body. So yes, we are in prime, like peak physique years. Like I'm 24.
You really had to think about that.
I'm 24. You're 25 because you just turned 25. So I'm like thinking about it. And so it's like, it's nice because our hormones like aren't crazy because of age or anything like that. So it's like, okay, we can really mess around with our bodies and like see what we're capable of, like the muscle we're building or the fat to lose or whatever body composition that you're striving for. And I think that Justus, let me toot your horn real quick for a sec. He has been so consistent and disciplined with the way that he's eating. And we've talked about the carnivore diet on here. I know we did because Justus was like thinking about it, trying it out, whatever.
Animal-based diet, yeah.
Oh, I'm so sorry.
Animal-based, well, it's kind of like the carnivore. Our animal-based is like carnivore, but you just have fruit.
Yes.
And you add fruit and you add like raw dairy.
Okay.
Yeah. And
so I really was like, Justus, I want you to go on there and talk to everyone about what you do, because he on social media and in the gym and like in classes and stuff, people just keep coming up to him and being like, what are you doing? Like, what do you do outside of weightlifting? Or like, what type of food do you eat? And it's been really food based. Like I would say people look at Justus and they're like, oh, like he just has good genes. And I'm like, yes, he does have good genetics, but take back photos even a year ago, 2 years ago. I would say 2 years ago. 2 years ago, look back on photos like prior to our wedding. And your body composition is not what it is right now.
No.
And what has changed?
My diet.
The way that you eat.
Yeah.
You still worked out that hard, not necessarily that hard, but you still worked out really hard and all of that stuff. And so we wanted to talk about kind of like the way that we're eating now. I'm eating a little bit different than I used to. But first things first, since January just passed, we have to tell you guys how Whole30 went, because you know we do it every year.
We have to tell you how it went. So how'd it go, Cameron?
So yes, okay, I guess I did it. Justus, we'll talk about it in a second. He was more strict than Whole30, which is crazy to me, but good for him. I'm so proud of him. So it was nice to still have a buddy that wasn't cheating, quote unquote, on the weekends or like eating junk food or anything like that. No processed food. So he was still eating a whole foods diet, but he kind of like made it his own. I stuck to the Whole30 elimination diet rules of no gluten, no dairy, no processed sugar, no grains, no alcohol, basically no processed food. It's all whole foods. And I did that, and I do it every year because of eczema that I've struggled with, some gut issues that I've struggled with, because eczema is a gut issue. And just to kind of like keep my eczema at bay, at rest, because I don't want it coming out or anything like that. It went well. I would definitely say this time was probably harder than last, just because last year was the year that you and I would order those Whole Foods meals, or Whole30 meals, sorry.
Yeah.
And we were like actually doing it together.
I would say it was probably harder because one, we didn't have those meals and we weren't as strict. And two, we actually had friends this year. So
that is so sad.
No, I'm saying it's true because like last year it was so easy not to. We only went out to eat probably like once.
That's
for
so
Gracie's
true.
birthday,
Yes.
and that was like a disaster because we were trying to figure out what the heck we could even eat
hilarious.
there. And
we got some lettuce on a bowl.
Yeah, like lettuce with chicken on a. We literally asked him, "Could you just take like shredded lettuce, put it on a thing, and add some chicken to it?" But having friends and stuff and wanting to go out and wanting to do stuff and they're not doing Whole30, it definitely makes it harder because it's like we're so used to working out hard and stuff. But on the weekends, we like to at least once or twice go out, enjoy like going out to have pizza or sushi or.
I was gonna say we're saying
getting
go
ice
out.
Cream.
Let me give you some insight on what our friends do. We may go out to dinner. Maybe it's sushi. Maybe it's Asian food. Maybe it's burgers. I don't know. The meal doesn't really matter. But then we go to Sprouts. And at Sprouts, we get the healthy alternatives of crap food. We get popcorn. We get healthy popcorn, healthy peanut M&Ms. We get this amazing ice cream. Bear ice cream.
The mint chip. Oh my gosh.
So good. We get just all the candy, and we go home and we watch a movie and we eat it all night. And it is so fun. I look forward to it every week, and I'm not even kidding you guys. But while we were doing Whole30, they were not. And so there were a couple nights where we were like, oh my gosh, I'm dying right now. Like it makes me not even want to go hang out with people just because I don't have that much self-control. But I also don't want to put that burden on people of like, oh, I don't want to do it because she's not doing it, that sort of thing. So it was hard this year. But did I cheat?
I mean, like, I think you had honey one time.
Oh my gosh, we were making a meal for another couple. It was us two and another couple. And we didn't have like the date syrup alternative. And so we had to use honey.
Raw honey.
It was like 3 tablespoons of raw honey.
And I use raw honey all the time.
Yeah. So did I cheat? Yes, technically. But that was literally the only way I cheated. Came out of it feeling so good. Proud of myself. I had a lot more energy this year than I did last year. And I thought that was interesting. Maybe I was eating more often than like just 3 meals a day, but it was great. I think that it's always a great start to the year. I think it makes me feel my best, and that's why I do it. I don't do it for looks. I don't do it for weight. I don't even know how much I weigh. I do it purely for my gut health and just a really good start to the year. Yeah. So what about you? What was your experience like when I was doing that?
So I think ever since, and we had talked about this, I think in the podcast earlier, that I was doing the animal-based diet, and I think ever since then, my whole approach to food has changed.
Yeah, he's crazy.
My whole approach to food has changed.
In the best way.
Okay. I'm crazy in sport. I'm crazy with fitness. I'm crazy with health. I'm crazy with food. I'm just crazy. I am. I'm crazy. So when I do things, I don't like to half do things. That's the. I think that's like something within me
relate.
Of like, even with a project, I need to finish it. So it's like when I'm doing something, my
tiles.
Yeah, that's a different story. We're still working on this room. You're not going to see it yet. So, but when I do something, I like to do it to the fullest extent. So I'm not just going to, because then it's just like I'm wasting my time. I'm wasting other people's time. Like just doing something that I don't want to do. And it's like I'm miserable doing half of it. So why not just do the full thing and actually see the results of it? So I went all in since then, and and I still have fun on the weekends and stuff like that. Like we still go out to eat. We'd go out to dinners and stuff. But like weekdays, like I am dialed. Like we said 80-20 rule before. I feel like I'm like 90 or 95.5 right now.
Let's settle on a 92.8.
92.8. I'm on a 92.8 diet right now. And that's just because I've seen the results of how it's made me, feel, how it's made me look. And I really enjoy it. So basically I've cut out all types of like grains. I've cut out any sauce really, besides like I do like some Frank's Red Hot sometimes here and there, but
He
that's
used
like
to be the biggest
but I used to be the biggest
dressing
sauce
guy ever.
because then I'd first, like when I first started, like I'd douse like healthy food in like normal sauce, then I'd douse a healthy food in like better for you sauce.
This man was on a honey kick. Anytime he had meat, he doused it in honey. And I had to sit you down one day. This is when we were still in the apartment.
Well, that's when I first started animal based.
like,
And I was still trying to
Justus,
wean off sauces.
You've got to calm down. Like, it's so much sugar.
So I douse it in honey. But then I slowly started moving away from that. And now it's just like I don't use any sauces besides maybe like Frank's Red Hot, which has
or
like
maybe coconut aminos.
maybe coconut aminos sometimes. But like for the most part, I'm just eating meat, fruit, potatoes, and vegetables.
And let me tell y'all, it's
and
expensive.
raw cheese. Yeah.
It's expensive.
It's expensive.
But it's an investment, and it's a priority to us.
But it's an investment, and it's like with anything, like obviously we give and take sometimes. Like we go to Trader Joe's when it's cheaper. Other times we go to Whole Foods, so we balance between that a little bit. But that's what my diet looks like. So when she did the Whole30, I basically just said, okay, I'm not going to cheat on the weekends normally when I have like some of my cheat meals and stuff. So I did that. It was funny because it was my birthday, and before we had just my friends and I we'd celebrated at Origin before.
Origin's like a really healthy, no bad oil, super
like
healthy
avocado
restaurant
oil,
in Dallas.
very clean. And we did that last year because it was just us two. But now that we have friends, they're like, no, we're all celebrating your birthday together. So we ordered Origin to the Holbeck's house, which is so fun. We played some Catan and stuff. And then they wanted to make me like some sort of like birthday thing, and I was like,
because they were like, Cam, if we get him a cake, will he eat it? And I was like, no, like he won't.
Yeah,
he won't. Even though I gave him, not that I need to give you permission, but like I was like, please eat cake, eat cookies, like do something for your birthday. Like it's your birthday. Come on.
I generally, I people think that I'm lying when I say this. Like I don't want it in my mind. That is worse, and I don't know if this is for good or for bad, but like eating that cake is not going to help me with my goals, so I don't want it. That's so you fair. Telling me that to eat that cake is actually pissing me off because you're not you.
Oh,
I'm just saying
like
in general.
Rude.
Like in my mind, no, you actually telling me to eat that cake. It's like people don't listen to me when I say I don't want it. People think it's like, oh no, like should I not?
Yes.
No, I'm like, no, get it out of my face. I don't want it. Like it's
okay,
not.
Don't say it pisses you off. That's
okay,
ridiculous.
I just I don't want it.
You just have goals.
I have goals.
And people don't understand that.
I'd much rather stick to my goals now because I've been sticking to them.
And you're not talking about our friends either who wanted to get you a cake.
No, because it's so sweet, and I love my friends, and they want to do something really nice for me. But I'm just saying in my mind.
So who says this to you? That makes you angry.
I'm okay. I misspoke when I said angry.
I'm like, what is going on?
I'm just saying people don't believe me when I'm actually telling the truth when I say I don't want it.
Yeah, it's not like a restriction thing.
It's not like me saying, oh, like should I not? I'm not trying to give you permission for me to.
I got you.
Do it.
Yes. Okay. I see what you're trying to explain.
Yeah.
Yes.
So they did they basically took Siggy's, which is like this pretty healthy Greek yogurt, mixed it with chocolate protein powder, and like added some like dairy-free chocolate chips and stuff.
The Spencer
in it.
special.
Yeah, Spencer. He makes he eats Siggy's every single night, and I tried it. It was actually really good. So I had like that as a little bit of a splurge.
Cake.
So that was my cake. They stuffed candles in it. We didn't have regular candles. They put a 20 something or 50.
I think you were 53.
53. Yeah, I was 53 years old.
53.
But that was kind of my experience on the Whole30. So I had done kind of my version of it where it's like sticking, which is arguably stricter, which was kind of crazy, except for the dairy piece. Like I ate dairy, she didn't eat dairy. Yeah. So that was kind of where the inflammation piece comes in a little bit more. Yeah. But in terms of just like why we're having this conversation in general of like how to build how to build our dream body, building your dream body.
Discipline.
One, I would say yes, it starts with discipline. And I think we've echoed this a lot before, but there's so many different diets out there. And I think even learning more about Whole30, learning more about these other things, it's like people can point flaws and point holes in every single diet, but ultimately you just have to do something and stick to it. Whether it's like cutting snacking, whether it's cutting other things. You don't have to go the full, like what we do. I do it because I feel like it's been good for my body and beneficial. I've seen it. That's not where I started. Yeah. I didn't start completely cutting out everything. It's hard to do that. It's difficult. It's doable, but it's difficult. So
I think stick to it to a degree. Like for some people that are listening, they might be like, okay, then I'm going to go full keto. Like that's the way that it should be. But like that might not be best for your body. So like I would try and see what works for you, but like try for a long time.
I would say do something that you can stick to for a while.
That
like
makes it a lifestyle.
Do something that you can make it a lifestyle. And that's what we preach in this whole podcast is like doing stuff like it's a lifestyle because ultimately you're going to go to do this keto diet for a couple weeks. You're going to, you know, go back to eating your normal food and you're going to crave it and you're going to over-index on your poor eating as it was before. So
that's why we say don't do diets.
That's why you say don't do diets. Doing lifestyles is so much more important. So what does that look like? It's like cutting out snacking. I found that's the most practical thing that you can do with all these diets and stuff. There's one common denominator and it's like none of these diets have snacks like chips that you grab onto, like other things that you grab onto. It's all about it's diets are centered around your food and everything. So it's like ultimate, like eliminating your snacking can help with that. 2, prioritizing protein.
100%.
Protein, man, woman, whatever. You should prioritize your protein in everything that you do. And
but
it's
like pure sources of protein.
But like pure sources, clean
not
sources. Not
energy bars.
Yes.
Or protein bars, not necessarily protein shakes, like true protein.
Use protein shakes and stuff to supplement. No, never use that as the thing to get you protein because there's a bunch of other craps in there. The purest, best form for your body is what comes from like animals and stuff. I mean, we eat meat. I mean, there are some people who don't eat meat, so there are some other alternatives. But make sure you're even getting those from whole food sources, like the Impossible burgers and stuff like that. There's so much preservatives and fillers and stuff in those that.
One of my friends didn't know what an Impossible burger was, and she was ordering it for months. Then she was out with her boyfriend and he was like, why are you getting that? And she was like, it's so good. Like this new brand of burger came out and he's like, there's no meat in those. It was so funny. So needless to say, also do your research. Look, I know. Look at ingredients.
Yeah.
And I think what you're saying is just like, yes, be disciplined, pick something but like don't just say I'm going to eliminate all bad food. I do not think that is a good way to look at it at all because I don't think food can necessarily be good or bad. I think food can be nutritious or non-nutritious, which is huge. Like you should really be eating to fuel your body. You should be eating to heal your body. And I think that that's the way that people need to look at it, that no one really looks at it that way. You are eating, yes, to get your dream body, but you're eating because you feel so good. Like if you ate this way and it made you physically feel terrible, but you look this way, I don't think you would eat that way because you care about how you feel too.
I definitely, that's a really good point. And I think even, so when you start to eat healthy and then you start to even have like those not really cheat meals, but just eating the foods that are not as good for you. Yeah. You're like, I don't feel that good after eating this. Like it's worth it because it's like, it's good in the moment and it's like fun and you're like enjoying entertainment, like in terms of like, you know, if you're doing it for social reasons and stuff like that. But then it's like the next day or a couple hours later, like my stomach, it's like, I don't feel good. So it's like, I don't want to do this every day. So it's like, it's almost like me saying like, I'm glad I did that because it was fun. It tasted good, but like, I'm going back to my normal diet tomorrow because I want to feel better. I want to feel good like I used to. So when you start to develop the kind of those habits and stuff, the things that used to taste and feel so good are not going to feel as good anymore.
No, absolutely. And so I would say now the way that we eat is just like, and how we're building our dream bodies is I'm still trying to figure mine out in the sense of protein because I think I don't drink protein shakes often. I'm not opposed to them. I think they're a great source of protein. But I just never really find time to drink them. And so one thing that I've been doing, I do stick to my normal diet pretty much all the time, but I am adding in Greek yogurt bowls. Do they hurt my stomach? That's up for debate. I can't really tell. I do think they make me bloat a little bit. Like I just have a feeling of discomfort sometimes, but like I had one this morning and I feel fine. So maybe my body's adapting to it. I don't really know. I don't have one every day. But that's pretty much it. I mean, I will, on the weekends, like we've said, like I will eat my Enjoy Life chocolate chips. I'm a ride or die Enjoy Life chocolate chip girl, the mini chocolate chips. I will have candy. I will have popcorn. I will have whatever I want on the weekends, like 1 or 2 nights, I would say. But like you're saying, during the week, it's just, we're on a grind and we feel good and we love it. And so on Whole30, we were making different dinners and like Justus meal preps for his work on Sundays, and he eats that same lunch every single day during the work day for the week. And I literally hate lunch, you guys. I just eat leftovers and it's so boring, but we eat the same dinner now, which is really nice. Yeah. Me being off of Whole30. And so it's just, we just kind of have the same goals. I would say you're a little more disciplined than I am.
You have more of a sweet tooth than I do.
I do.
I just naturally don't like sugary stuff as much. Like I'm more of like a saver. Like I will house bread. I will house pizza.
Yeah, you looked at the store today and you're like, oh, sourdough bread. I can't wait to eat that soon. I was like, what? Because he's going to carb load for, like, he carb loads for races and for stuff like that. He's like, I can't wait to have that. And I'm like, you're funny. Like, I just buy the whole bag and eat it. But that's what I'm saying. Like, you're building your dream body.
Yeah.
And I'm honestly fine with the way that I look. Like, I'm like, if it's working for me, great. Thank you.
Everyone tells you that all the time. They're like, Cameron, how do you get abs and stuff like that? And everyone always asks you that.
I don't know. I don't think that I have them.
Yes, you do.
But I appreciate that so much. I don't know. And like, that's what we're saying. It's just like, you have to find what works for you. And your dream body goals can be different than our dream body goals. And that's totally fine. And honestly, like, what is your dream body goals? Like, I feel like you're at it right now.
To get shredded.
You are shredded.
To get more shredded.
Okay. I would say mine's to build a little bit more muscle. So like toning, I guess, I suppose. Being a sculpt instructor helps with that, which I'm very grateful for. And then, like you guys know, I'm trying to get back on my grind of being in the gym like 3 to 4 times a week, which I do love. I'm just trying to get back into it. So I would say building your dream body is like number 1 through nutrition and discipline, like what we were saying.
Yeah.
And then a supplement of that is like, how active are you? Are you taking care of yourself? Are you moving your body? Because I don't really know what a percentage, like scientific number would be, but I think that if you ate 100% clean 100% of the time, that is healthy. But if you like sat on the couch like a couch potato your whole life, I don't think that's healthy. And so I think there's a balance of both. Yeah. Like how we do it.
Obviously. I think honestly though, in terms of looks wise, it's mostly diet.
Agreed. I would say it's like what, 80% diet?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like there's people say like, even in terms of exercise, like the amount of exercise, like I feel like just you being a teacher and me like being crazy, we've reached another level of threshold of like what we deem to be like an appropriate level of like exercise.
That's true.
And so you really only need to exercise like 2 or 3 times a week in order to like, if you eat fully clean, you really only need to exercise like 2 or 3 times a week.
Like lifting weights and walking every day or something.
While getting your steps in every day, but like really only like good, like 45 minute exercise, like 3 days a week.
Yeah. It doesn't have to be crazy 2-hour workouts like this hooligan does every week.
But like we said before, diet is, or like what you eat is super, super important, and it can look different for everyone else. Some people like the extreme in the structure of tracking your macros. Like we have friends that do it. Mm-hmm. I personally don't do it because 1, I don't want to have to log everything I eat, and 2, I feel like you're kind of like giving yourself, you're basically saying, how can I eat what I want to eat and still lose weight? Like how could I still eat the fun thing? Like your mindset towards food and stuff is still like, how can I get away with it almost? At least that's what I think. And not everybody thinks like that who's on macros. Like obviously there are people who are like doing bodybuilding and stuff like that, and it works for people. But for me, it's like, I just want to have an association with food where it's like, I don't care how much I eat of this. I know it's clean. I know it's good for my body. Yeah. So it's like, for me, eating whole foods during the week and for most of the weekend, it's like, I don't need to make sure that this fits within the stuff because I know it's good for me. So I'm just going to eat it.
It's honestly like a huge food freedom thing. I think that if you're restricted in like calories and stuff and like counting, and this is just my personal opinion, but if you're restricting like calories and fats and stuff like this, and it's kind of like, you don't need to do that if you're eating healthy. Yeah. You know? Like,
and some people, it works for some people who are super dedicated, and some people like that structure.
Like you said, bodybuilding
There are some people who like really like that structure and are disciplined enough to do it. But for the average person, a lot of people aren't disciplined. So it creates more stress and more like anxiety towards food than it does actually help you. So I would encourage you, don't start with the portion, start with what you're eating.
Yeah. Look at what you're eating.
Look at what you're eating first before you start limiting what you're eating.
Can you pronounce the ingredients? That's one of the biggest tests that you can do.
Yeah.
Yeah. Just like little fillers, like looking in fillers at foods. And we do understand that eating healthy is expensive. We do. But there's ways to do it. Like even if grains don't bother you, go 2 of our friends, they eat beef and rice for lunch and dinner every single day, debatably breakfast, lunch, and dinner. And yes, it's expensive, but I mean, if you're only buying beef and you're only buying rice, you're good to go.
And that's all you're eating, and you're not going out to eat, you're not drinking and stuff like that.
You can do it.
Money goes in different places.
Yes.
So it's like, it's what you want to invest in.
Yes. And like we spice up our food a lot. And we do invest in the food that we eat. Like we honestly spend so much money on food, and we're blessed to be able to. It's a huge blessing that we never have to like stress about really. But we prioritize it. And so we're like, okay, we're going to set this money aside for food for the month, whatever. And so it's great, but there are ways to like dumb down on the pricing. It depends on where you shop. Like Justus said, sometimes we even go to Aldi because they have some organic beef And so we'll go there because it's a lot cheaper than going to Whole Foods or Sprouts or something like that. And so it's just like playing the game, like see this as a fun game, a fun challenge for yourself of like, how can I start to feel better and how can I feel and look my best? And it all starts with food, honestly.
Yeah.
I would say so.
So true.
Love it. What else you got to add?
I got nothing. I think those are the biggest things. I mean,
absolutely.
That's kind of how we live our life. And I feel like I don't see myself changing this really. I like how I feel.
We talk all the time about our children.
Yeah, our children are going to be in trouble, y'all.
We're like, what are
Pray
we going to do?
children.
I think our children are literally going to never be at our home once they're old enough to have sleepovers. Because they're going to be like, Mom and Dad don't let me eat. We will, okay? We will let our kids eat fun things.
First of all, I will never say that like eating this, like kids need more, not junk food, but they need more like carbs and more calories. Like they're growing, they're mature. They need those types of things to help their bodies grow. You're not going to put your baby on an animal-based diet.
No.
Like that's the dumbest thing ever.
We'll research that when we have kids. Like we'll research like what's the most beneficial for their nutrition.
Yeah, we're not crazy, but
our kids will
at the
be
same
sleeping
time,
over at other people's houses because we don't have the fun foods at our house.
But at the same time, yeah, we're setting a precedent in our house.
It's going to be great. I'm not worried about it. But thank you guys so much for listening. Interesting conversation. I love it.
This
honestly.
was fun.
It was so great. But we'll see you guys next time.